Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next session, or this is session that's next of Tech Bytes of building a chatbot. We're gonna get into the code today, so very, very, very exciting. Um, let's see. What is this to get into the code? Very simply, we are going to build our actual ASP web website, or actually the ASP web project that is going to build the website. So welcome back, Tara Walker. We're going to get into the code today. As obvious, we have our monitor, Nikki Klein, that is on, she's going to be on there talking to you. Let me give you a quick heads up. My fan is awful loud today. So I am so sorry, but it's going to be a little loud. I'll try to beat it into submission, but just to kind of let you know, it's going to be a little loud. All right. So let's get this thing started. Nikki, are you ready? Yep. She said hello. So thank you guys for joining. Let's do this. Hi guys. All right. Let me switch my laptop over and again to my desktop, and please again excuse my loud fan. It's not behaving right now, so that's not cool. All right, so as you see, I'm in the Visual Studio. Let's actually start up a project. So let's do that. Let's get this project up and running. So when you build an ASP.NET project, you guys probably totally already know this. This is not like a big thing for you. But when we are building an ASP.NET project, you're simply going to do new. Oops. And do project. Why is my mouse jumpy? And instead of doing a Lambda project like we've done before, I'm going to go into .NET Core, and I'm actually going to select ASP.NET Core Web Application. All right. And so, because that's what we're building today. So let's name our application. What are we going to name it? Let's say Lex Web Chatbot, because I can't think of another name. I will browse and put it into my code folder and click OK. And if you are really familiar, you're probably going to see this come up. If you have certain plugins installed, you'll also see Angular and React, JS, so etc. I'm going to do a MVC web application here. So right now we're not going to do authentication. And why is that? Because we have created our Cognito for authentication. If you don't remember it, no worries. Go look at the other episode that we did previously, and that's what we're going to do it from. So I'm going to click OK here and let it create the project. Now, if you went to any of our other sessions, you know that the libraries that we need are on NuGet. So it's totally great about it. I don't want to do any of this overview. That's nice. Close that. We're going to do Solution Explorer. Let's go ahead and pin that. And the thing we want to do at this point is we want to get the core libraries that we need into this. So obviously at this point, I need to go and get some NuGet libraries that is going to actually do this. So let's manage our NuGet packages. If you remember correctly, we are going to use obviously Lex. And so we could have actually built a Lex library separate from this. And actually we probably can do that in a later session. But for right now, we are going to actually just get the Lex library. So let's just do that. Go ahead and get what we need from the Lex library. And instead of Cognito SDK, we'll do Lex. And have it search. I want to browse. All right, great. So this is the one I want, the stable one. I'm going to install that. Let it think a minute. Get those things in there. And what we're going to do right now is we just need to create, after we get this Lex in there. Great, that's there. We need to create some certain things to make sure we're going to talk back and forth. Let's say, okay. Yeah, I accept the license. We want to get our visuals on there, and we actually want to start with dependency injection. So the first class I am going to create with this is let's do our sessions extension first. So I'm going to actually create an extensions folder. I'm going to add a new folder. And the reason why I'm creating a sessions extension class is because I want to be able to serialize all of, if I could spell, all of the chatbot messages going back and forth. I want to serialize those things to my session. And if you know anything about the session object, you know, typically it is you have to build an array and do all the other good stuff. I don't want to do that. I actually just want to serialize my object directly to the session and back, and, you know, deserialize it back into my object. So I want to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do here is let's add a class. New item. I don't want a content page. I actually want a class. And I'm actually going to name this session extension. Now, this best practice is not something I came up with. This is something that's just a part of ASP.NET and ASP.NET Core best practices. You can actually extend the session object and put things in there. So I want to do that. So we're going to say session extensions, create that new class. And let's go ahead and do that here. Now, I'm going to, first off, since I want to do this as a session extension, the main thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take it out of my namespace, because I actually don't want this in my namespace. I actually want it to attach to my system, my session object. I don't need any of those. I'm actually going to use Microsoft, ASP.NET Core, and HTTP, because I want to get to that session object. And I'm going to use Newton Soft because obviously I want to serialize things back and forth. All right, great. To make this really effective, I'm going to need to make this a static class, because obviously that class for a session needs to be static. And then obviously I need to have a static function here. And this is, again, just the best practices for extending your session object. This is not something I created. This is just something that's a best practice doing that. So obviously we have in the HTTP core, that library in there. I have access to the iSession interface. So I want this to be current session. And then I need to pass the string that I want to store my object in. And then I want the actual object. We'll just say object value. All right. Now that I have that, let's get this to. All right. So what the session does, what you have is you have the ability to set string in the section object. So again, these things are being streamed or are saved as key value pairs that are string based. So to do that, I need to I want to set the string. This trick is I want to do this with taking my object and then serializing it to JSON. So I'm going to take my object key. That's what I want to be stored in. And I'm actually going to do JSON. I want to convert this to serialize object. And then the object value. If I could type, that'd be great. All right. And then obviously, if I'm going to set it, I also need a getter or a getter. Oh, that sounds funny right there. Public static. I don't want this to be void, this one, because I actually want to return it. So I want to return the object. We're going to use good old-fashioned generics, one of my favorite things. And same thing, I need to get the iSession object, get the current session. And the string I need, what's the key to pass in, because I want to get that back out. All right. Now to get this, obviously I serialized it into a string. I want to, using the Newton Soft JConvert object, my favorite one. And so I want to actually then get this string back out. So getting that value out, I'm just gonna say var, it's gonna be a JSON string, but I'm going to take that object value, and just to keep up with the same names I've been using, we're going to use the get string that's a part of the session, and then I'm going to get that string via the key that I passed in. Now, once I have that, and obviously that's returning it as JSON. Once I have that, then I want to take this value. Well, here's the thing. What if I turn in the key and it's null? So I don't want to just deserialize it because that'll be an issue. So I need to check for null now that I'm thinking about it. So if it's null, I'm going to just return, since we're using generics, I just can't return null that way. I'm going to return a null object of the type I want. And otherwise, let's do the JSON convert. And I want to deserialize. I'm going to say I could type, that would be great. Let's deserialize. I cannot type today. Like, it's so funny. Now let's try that object. Okay, going well. I want to return the whatever object type I send in, and then I want to deserialize that object value. Okay, that is so we have our session extension. Let's move on now that we have that to, we need to do some things with, I said I was going to do a few things with the option class and getting this in there. So let's quickly go to our app settings. And let's go ahead and put the values that we want in there for the chatbot. And in order to do that, I'm going to actually create a configuration node that's called, let's see, we can call it AWS configuration, because I can't think of this, or Lex configuration, AWS Lex configuration. And this will just be JSON. And from this, I want to get, this is where we're going to actually do our dependency injection. So we're making this, the whole purpose of all of this is we're doing this so you can take any chatbot you create, not just the one that we're showing, but you can create, take any chatbot that we create, and then you could use this by changing these variables and have this chatbot work, right? Reuse, developers are lazy. So pool ID here. Let's see what else we need. We obviously need our Lex chat, our Lex bot name, and then that'll be insert my chatbot name. We're going to need a role here, possibly. This is just really for the future because I'm doing everything incognito. I really kind of don't want a role, but just in case you want to get really granular and say the specific role should be used, we'll just put it in there right now. I need my alias, and let's see, I'm going to insert bot alias. When you publish a Lex chatbot, for those of you guys who are just joining us and this is new, you actually put in a alias to be published. And why is that? Because you can have multiple bots running and they can do different things, multiple of the same bots that maybe have different features. You don't want to break other people's usage of your bot, possibly if they're using an old one, or you want to make sure you have the latest one. That alias just allows you to do that. Okay, so we have the configuration in there. Now that we have that, let's create a options class. And why are we doing that? Well, we want to take, when this chatbot comes in, we're going to actually put some things in the startup where it's going to read from this, create an object, and then we can dependency inject all these objects into our service class. So let's, I'll just create it in the root instead of creating a folder because I have just a little bit of time. So I want to make sure I'm getting all the time in I need. Any questions out there? I know as Nikki is doing her due diligence to answer your questions, but any questions so far of what we're doing and why we're doing it? We're creating our ASP.NET chatbot. We're going to use the service. This is .NET Core, as she noted. I I don't know why you're giving me crap about the light theme. No dark theme. And how are you guys going to see it in the dark theme? Then you're going to be complaining you can't read my code. I just know that is what's going on. All right. All right, so here we go. We're going to do a public class that is options. And like I said, what we're going to do with this class is we're actually going to make sure that we can use this in our dependency injection. So let's get a few collections here. The first thing I need, if I'm going to use this in dependency injection, and if I'm going to put it in the shared startup, I'm actually going to need to add in the options. This is what I love about the new ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET period, is the fact that they actually thought about dependency injection in mind in building. And that is so lovely because, you know, I've used AutoFact and the other ones, and I love them, don't get me wrong. But it's really, really nice the fact that, you know, I, don't have to really do that anymore. I can use the one that's already innate to it. So I know from using this before that I actually need a constructor, and so since I'm not really doing anything with constructor, we'll just have a blank constructor there. And now I can put in my references. So here's the trick with this. This just needs to match with what I've said I'm putting in here, and it will automatically do the conversion. So just so I can remember, I'll just copy this and be lazy because we are being mindful of time, and I will just put it here. So the first string I need is going to be Cognito Pool ID. And again, if these match with having this extension, it'll automatically fill this object up with the values you said. I need a public string. In fact, let's just be lazy and copy these things. I need this chat Lexbot name. And we'll just copy this get and set. Why can't I type today? Because I'm a little special. I couldn't paste. How bad is that? All right, so I got that. I need my alias. I'll do the role too. And we'll do a getter setter here. You kind of get the gist of where we're going with this. I literally am just going to match those names up. And what's nice about that and doing that is now I don't have to put it in conversion of read this in, make this object from the values. This will all do it automatically. Like I said, they have made dependency injection with this super simple. And it's it's like a great uses of it. Now again, no offense to the other ones. I've used a lot of other dependency injection middleware, and I love them. But this makes it super simple to do this. So what's the only one I left out was region. And with that, that's it. All right, so copy this. And I think we're done. Let me see. I have pool ID, Lexbot name, Lexbot alias, Lexbot region, and the role. Cool, great. Let's trash this. We're ready to go. All right, so now we have our options class. I built in my session extensions. Now let's go into startup and let's change some things so that actually we can do this. All right, here's the startup, and I want to do a couple of things here in startup. The first thing is, if I'm going to use this options, I need to do something in the configuration of my services. So let me go down here and create my, go into configure services. Hopefully you guys can see this. I realize I'm still a little bit small, but you guys haven't complained, so I'm assuming you can see it, but I'll just blow up just a little bit more. All right, so we're in services, MVC, that's great. Before I do add MVC, if I'm going to use this new options, I need to actually add options in there, and that's just you can add, so you can use the options dependency injection there. Now I need to register which I configuration, whatever has a configuration that I'm passing, which instance of that what did I name ID options? What instance of that will be instantiated with what class? So what binds against this interface and where does it have it? So I will need to do a services configure here. Configure. I need to give it a type. It'll be ASP options because that's the one I'm going to do it. And then I need to say that it's going to have configuration, and I need to get the section that I want from this. And I named that section because, oops, I'm not trying to move it. I just want to go to it. I named that section AWS Lex configuration. So copy here and go back to startup. And I'm just going to add that in. So what's this doing is it's saying, okay, I'm going to use this configuration class. I have something in my app settings that it is a configuration section. I want to take that, and what I want to do with that is I want to create an object from that I can then go into my dependency injection. So that's great with that. The other thing I'll do here really quickly, since we've already started, is I know I'm going to use my session object to store my results. So as the page refreshes and everything else, you know that again, web doesn't have state, but I want to have some kind of state per option. So I'm actually going to create some options here. So I'm going to add a section for options. And then I'm going to actually name this, and I'm going to say we're going to pass in from that section options. And what do I want to do with that? Let's see. I want to take it, and I need to set the timeout from it. So let me do that. If I'm going to use this class, I might as well do that while I'm in here. Options, idle. I'll set a time span from seconds. We don't want it to go forever. I'll just throw 300. And then do I want it to do cookies only or not? You can change this how you want it. I'm going to, for this, I will say that cookies are only HTTP only. No more other different kind of cookies are necessary. And I think that's it. What does it like? Oh, we've now deprecated that. I'm still going to use it. I'm not going to listen to you. It's obsolete. It will be removed. Alternate is cookie HTTP only. I'll set that later, so I'll make a note to myself. Use new cookie. What is it? HTTP only. I'll change that later on. All right, so we have all that going on. And now the final thing we need to do, I have my services configured. I have my object created. We are really pretty much almost ready to go. I need a page to now bring all these things into. And so let's create our page really quickly, and we will be raring to go. Oh, I'm skipping one major thing. So I have all that. That's great. I don't have a model. What am I going to use for my model? So let's create a model really quickly. I'm not trying to move the models. Why don't you like that? So we're going to add new item. I'm going to need a class, and it'll be my Chatbot message class. So this is where I'll create, what am I saying? This is where I will create, this is where I'll store my message. This will be a part of my model. I like enumerations. And so instead of me having to try to figure out what type of message it is, there are going to be different message type is what I'll name this. And let's see, there are going to be two types of messages coming across. There are going to be messages that are from the user and messages that are from Lex. So we'll use those two. I feel like I should have like no one that has no message, but yeah, that'll be fine for right now. So we'll have those two. And so my message class then therefore, and I know I have 5 minutes, so I got to type really fast, will be int ID. And we'll do just a getter and setter here. And then let's see. So I want the ID of each message so we can identify each message. We'll do, obviously I want a message type. or sorry, bot message type. And this will be just type, and that'll be a get and set. And then finally we'll do what is the actual message, and that'll be a string. Okay, at this point, we have set up everything we need to be able to talk back and forth in Lex and actually have our ASP.NET project talk to it. The only thing that is missing, obviously, is a view. It's funny that keeps doing that. So we're going to, let's do a quick view. And instead of home, because I'm going to change this. Actually, I'm going to change this in startup. So instead of starting in home, well, you know what? No need to change that. Let's just, okay, delete. No, I'm going to change it. See, indecisiveness is not good. Let's just make this, nope, not a class first. Let's make a folder that's for this, that's called chat, I don't know, Lex Chatbot, because I'm so great with names. Okay, now that we have that folder, let's add a view, because that's going to be how we're going to set up our route. We're going to set up our route specifically, and you'll be able to delete then the what am I saying, the other one. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a new view. Did I name it? I just realized, or did I just let it be what it was? I don't even know if I named it. That was not good. You guys are watching. Did I name it? I don't remember. You don't deprecate. You just release a note say, I suck to be. I like that, Bat Hombres. I like that. All right. I am going to be a good corporate citizen and go back in and fix that though. So you guys won't, since it's for you all, I won't do that. But I love that you guys have that. All right. So what do I want to do here? Did I name that? You guys are not telling me. You're not talking to me. Did I name this? No, I didn't name this. That sucks. Let's rename this to something better than just view. How about chat? I don't know. Chat something. Chat view. That's so descriptive, Tara. It's really not. But okay, we're gonna go with it. Okay, so what do I want to put here? Let's. The first thing is, I'm not going to really use this per se, but since I know that ASP.NET has this great share view, which I'm totally going to change, by the way, and I have 2 minutes to do it, but let's just quickly create our view. Now, let me tell you, I completely and unequivocally suck at views. So I'm actually going to take the web part of the view from the page we already have going. So let me actually open up that page that we actually have the nick of that link, and I'm gonna literally just copy in, better yet, I'll open up the Visual Studio project for it, and then I'll copy that format in. You know why? Because I am not here. I just opened it up. Okay, let's see. All right, so let me copy to make it pretty, and then I can put my code in, because I am not good at making the pretty part. So let's copy the make it the pretty part. Okay, so instead of having this H2 view, I'm going to take that out and paste the pretty stuff in it to make it look nice. This is the thing that makes this look nice. All right, so now that we have this that's going to make it look nice, and that has all the JavaScript and the CSS that I am not good at, let me go back to what I am good at, and that's the code. And I have I'm going to go over about 5 minutes, so if you bear with me, we can at least get the page going, and we'll be ready to go. So the first thing I know I need, I obviously have a title, but the first thing I know I need in here is I need to create a model. And I want it to be a collection of chatbots, of my chatbot. And so I am going to need it to be in the, it's in a model, and it's, what did I name it? Chatbot message. There you go. So I want a collection of type chatbot models. So that's going to be the type of my model that's going to come in. So I need that. And actually, I have this in the wrong place. I want it to be outside of this. There we go. Now, for the come in, I don't want it to use that default layout. So I know if you used created a new ASP.NET project before, it has like a nice layout with the scrolling thing, and it infuses this layout into everything. Well, I don't want that layout because I just found this nice JS to make it look like what it's going to look like, so I don't want that. So I'm going to put that here. All right, and with you guys indulging me with the 5 minutes, this is like the code for this, and the blah 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 X, Y, and Z. Now, I pasted this from the other one, so this is kind of what's in here, but this is totally wrong a little bit. First of all, there is no model of this type, so let's trash that. So let's see, for each thing in the model. So if you look here, if I highlight this, you'll see that the model is going to be a chatbot message. So I want to actually create this model that I created versus whatever was on the other page, because I don't know what I did on the other page. Who remembers what they coded before? So I want chatbot message type to be of type, what's the name of my thing? Lex Webbot. What did I name that enumeration? It's in models. It is bot message type. There you go. So if it's bot message type, there is no extension method message type. Okay, let's see. So what did I name that? I named it message type. All right. So if chatbot message type equals message type, not given in the context, did I do this right? Make sure, but no, I did not. Let's see. If chatbot message type equals bot message type, that is right. I think it's right. Let me go back and see what I did. Bot message type, that is right, Tara. What is going on there? Maybe when I save it, the squiggle line will go away. All right, so if chatbot message type is of type message type, I want to do make it look like the user is for user request. And if it selects, it'll be that. Okay, that's right. This user request is just some CSS that makes it looks different. Like one is green and one is yellow, and that's it. And then I want it to scroll. So this is just, all of this is just to make it the cute stuff that I wanted. And now I'm going to have to build a controller. So I'm going to trash this because this is from the other one and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something different than that. But we will need to chat on there. So, okay, we have a scroll type dictionary inline. Great. So we have actually finished most of our stuff. Let me save all of this so that I could figure out why does it not like my chatbot message type. Let's see. Why does it not like that? You guys have any clue? That doesn't make sense. Oh, duh. I know why. I just figured out why. Duh. I'm actually comparing it against, where's my mouse? I'm actually comparing it against the entire enumeration and not a specific type. Really dumb. Okay. Now that makes more sense. Okay. If it's a user message, and I don't know why I didn't catch that in first. If it's a user message, then I want it to use CSS that does the user class. If it's not, then I want it to do the Lex response. And it's just the way it's going to make it look. I want it to be able to scroll. I have a dictionary, and I'm ready to go. So at this point, we have put in our dependency injection model. We have our web page created. We have our what am I trying to say? We have our page connected. The next time that we meet, the only thing we have to do now is create our controller. And so we'll do that in the next section. I'll just go ahead and create a default controller here just so that we have it going. I'll do an empty one. And that's the next thing we'll do. We'll create our controller that ties all of this together. And, this will be Lex Chatbot controller. And so we'll create a controller that will put all of that together in the next session. So at this point, we have our page going, our We have our plugging in with our session extension and things of that nature. The other things we'll do in the next one, and I'll just add these two classes and then I will take your questions, is we're actually going to have to figure out how we're going to pull data back and forth. And we created those other two classes before. So I'm going to need a class, or either a services class, you can call it data services class. Maybe I should say, let's rename this to data service, just so it makes sense where we're getting our data from. So we're going to need our data service class, and then we'll create then there just two classes. I'll create a interface that we can allow, so you can do different things with Lex. And the reason why we're going to create an interface is, what if you want to have your Lex bot talk solely in voice, or what if you want your Lex bot to do something completely different in text, or you want to tie it or do something different. As long as you have the same interface across, you can create multiple classes that inherit from this and to do it. So we'll create a LexBot interface. We'll do that next time, and then we'll also create our first class that'll actually get the data. All right. So any questions? I'm about 7 minutes over, but I think we have done a lot in our 30-minute session. I'll put my stub here, Lex service. I'll put my stub there for it. And like I said, we've done a lot, and I'm looking forward to your questions and to joining us next time when we pull all this together and have it working completely, now that we've done a lot of the heavy lifting with it. Any questions out there? Yes, you know what? Great question. So what I can do is I can also create, so I can create two, and I'll just put this as a stub. We'll create this as also a page model. So we'll do both, just so we make sure we're showing regular pages. So I'll just put I'll put a separate view here. New item. And I'll do a razor page, just so if you want to show that new way. I don't know which one I like yet. So, but I'll do both, just so that we can show both. So I'll actually put a razor page, and I'll just say chat view razor. So we'll make one of those for next time as well. So you can have both of them, since you like the razor page model. So now we have both of those, and I can actually we'll create that model as well with using the page model. Any other questions out there? You guys are awful quiet today, which is super, super weird for you guys to be this quiet. So any questions? We are about 8 minutes over. We have done a lot of stuff in our 8 minutes, a whole bunch of stuff. So any questions so far? We are going to, so we know our marching orders for next time, and we're headed toward the end. So this is super great that we have created our Cognito before we had that going. We have set up our LexBot with Lex. So if you guys missed any of that, please go on to the other episodes and check them out. So you can catch up with us here. We have the GitHub repo. The code may be a little different because I'm doing things on the fly here, and I actually probably thought things through there, but hopefully it's close. And so we're doing what you want to do here. Give us ideas. I'll put this code out there under the GitHub repo for this session. And I'm looking forward to your feedback, guys. All right, so thank you for indulging me 10 minutes over. I will stay on for a few minutes for questions, but that is the end of this Tech Byte episode for Lex Web Chatbot. Thank you for joining us for live coding, and we will be back to finish this out and make this chatbot hum and work with text, and then we'll move on to voice and whatever else you guys want to do. This is your session, not mine. Thanks so much. I'll hang out, and you guys tell me what you want to know. See you soon.